Hey, you guys out there with BCA Avalanche packs, I have a suggestion for you. Fill your own canisters. All you need to do is buy a Benjamin air rifle pump. They're about 130 bucks on Amazon, and I'll show you how to refill your canister today. So when you buy one of these pumps, you want to make sure that you get a desiccant air filter for it. And what that does is it takes all the moisture out of the air. You don't want to have any moisture going into the cylinder because it could make it malfunction. So you got to have this little desiccant filter on there as well. First thing you may notice after you've discharged one of these cylinders and take it out, that this little button may be popped up there just a little ways, and that's fine. That when this pin gets pulled out, this little shaft pops up, allows the air to go into your airbag. So the first thing you're going to do is take off these Allen screws on top. Pretty simple to do. They're usually not super tight. And a lot of times what you'll find when you take this off of here, it may be fairly tight pulling this up out of there. This little shaft goes down inside there. Sometimes kind of tight, but pull that off. And there you'll see that there's an O-ring right here. There's O-ring on the very bottom. Kind of a little seal right here. So what you need to do potentially, once this canister goes off, a lot of times what will happen is this little O-ring right here will get destroyed, that very bottom one there. Or it may be on there, it may just have gotten shot up to the very top here. A lot of times you can take that O-ring and just slide it back down into place, and it's good to go. But if you need to look it over, make sure it's all right, and if you want to go ahead and replace it even though it's on there, it's probably not a bad idea to do that. But inside this little kit, you've got those O-rings, and then there's also a little lubricant on there, and this little toothpick, and that's basically to put the O-ring on the toothpick and then put the toothpick up here against the end of the shaft, and you can slide the O-ring into place there so it goes in that groove nice and easy. Put a little bit of that lubricant on there. It's just kind of I think a little, some kind of grease that goes on there to keep it from damaging these O-rings. So you want to put a little bit of that O-ring grease on there. Make sure this is back in the right position. That little pin's all the way down. And then you're gonna slip it back in here, slide it down into position just like that, and you're going to take those two screws and put them back in there and snug them down good and tight. So you're also supposed to take the cylinder off of this top part here and replace the O-ring underneath. But I've never done that with mine. I think it's probably a little bit of overkill, and it is on there really super tight. So I don't know if you want to mess with taking that off, but it's a good idea probably, at least every 2 or 3 years to take this cylinder off. Make sure there's nothing inside of it or whatever. The cylinder's ready to be pumped up now. All you got to do is take your fitting from your air pump and plug it on here. Make sure it gets snapped all the way in. And then just start pumping away. It's going to take some time. It's not easy. You're pumping this thing up to about 2,700 pounds. So it's going to take quite a few pumps. So I've got my cylinder pressured up to 2,700 PSI, and that's how much pressure is in this line right here. To take this cylinder off, I need to bleed the air out of that hose. I'll do that, and my O-ring's holding it in here, so it's not going to go backwards. And now I can unplug this. You probably wouldn't be able to unplug it unless you let that pressure off of that line anyway. But now I can unhook, and then I'm going to take it out and put it in the snow for just a little while, and if it drops down below the green, I'll bring it back in and pump it back up again. So super simple. You know, you can buy this pump for, like, say, about $130, and then you've got it. I keep mine in my trailer all the time, so if somebody would happen to set off a canister accidentally, we can just run back to the truck and fill the thing up and be off again.